everybody, welcome to this Xbox Life episode 278. Absolutely. I am your host, Mark, aka Wingman709, and with me, as always, is my good buddy Rob, who I cannot hear. Mute, Rob.
You made me mute. You made me mute, and now you threw off my whole thing because I initially said "you betcha." That's my new thing now. So I'm Rob, also known as Prestar on this Xbox Live. Thanks for watching the show as usual. Good
It's
to be
this
here. Good to be here.
Xbox
Right?
Life, not live.
Live. Yeah. Okay.
So sorry for the delay, folks. We
Yeah.
my fault. Technical difficulties as usual. But
Actually, you know what?
hopefully we got them ironed out.
We're this Xbox Life Live because we
Okay,
are live.
I guess
Okay.
for the moment, we'll see how it
You
goes.
betcha.
So, well, you can check out our website at thisxboxlife.com. Also, we want to thank you all for supporting us and ask that you can continue to support us by going to thisxboxlife.com/Amazon using our affiliate page. And we got some good news for you guys.
Oh yeah.
We talked for a couple of months now, 6 months, I guess. We've been talking about our affiliate page at Amazon and said, we were going to, when you guys use that affiliate page and buy stuff at Amazon, we actually get some credit for that. And you guys have been outstanding, and we have gotten some money enough that we're going to start giving away some stuff back to you guys as promised. So what we're going to do over the next 8 weeks is give away some Xbox gift cards in the amount of $10 each. It's not a lot, but it's a start. We were going to do 20, but to 4 people, but we thought let's give $10 to 8 people. So that's what we're going to start with. And so what we're going to do for these next 8 weeks is every week during the community section of the show, we're going to put an image up on the screen. It's going to be a game that is on the Xbox platform. And it's just going to be box art, if you will. And we're just going to show it. We're not going to say what it is. So you're going to need to check out the live stream on Twitch or check out the replay on YouTube at sometime throughout the week, and just tell us what when you see that game art. You're just going to go to our website, go to our contest page, and Rob will hopefully very soon have the page up for you to join the contest, and it'll be just like before. Just put your gamer tag and then your answer, and that's it. And then we'll draw a random number next week, and we'll announce the winner next week. And we will send you. We need your gamer tag. Make sure it's spelled correctly because we're going to send you a code through Xbox Live, and that will give you $10 worth of Microsoft monies that you can spend. All right. So hold on to that and prepare for that for later on in the show. And again, we're going to do this for the next 8 weeks. All right. And keep buying from Amazon.com using our affiliate page because the more you guys buy from us or from them on our page, the more we'll get to be able to give away. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. You betcha.
So,
Hey, I
um,
also I also wanted to add that we're going to be moving our website to a new data center. I was hoping it was going to happen this weekend, but it looks like it didn't. So I imagine it's probably going to be during working hours, sometime this week. So if you are trying to hit our contest page and the website's not coming up, just keep in mind that the move is probably happening at that time. In it's in the middle of the move, so just wait a little bit and try it again. It should be back up. So just keep that in mind.
just in case you run
Yeah,
into it.
absolutely. Yes,
And I got
you
to say,
betcha.
that's going to get old. You want to explain that, or are you just going to run with it all night?
I'll run with it.
Okay. I'm sure those that have been in the Facebook group will understand the title of the show and what Rob is now doing.
Yes.
So we'll just leave it
Okay.
at that. All right. So what did you play this week, Rob?
So this week I played a little bit more of Lara Croft and was it Lara Croft Guardian of Light? I believe is the name. Something pretty close to that. Whatever it is,
That is correct.
it's the freebie. This Yeah, it's the second half of January freebie. fantastic game. I really enjoy it. So hopefully we'll finish that one up this week. And then on Blizzard.net, they this past week released Hearthstone. It's a card game. It's in open beta right now. It's actually pretty fun if you like Magic or any of those type of collectible card games. Definitely check this thing out. It's kind of a big download. It's about a gig to download, but it's actually really fun. I like it a lot better than Magic. It's really, really, really well done. Double thumbs up to that. And then on a side note, I got suckered into this Clash of Clans with some buddies at work. So I'm giving that a try. Very annoying game. They really, really want you to buy stuff in the game. Did you ever play that, Mark?
No.
Clash of Clans? Yeah. They have these little gems, these green gems they call them or something. And they're obnoxious with these things. When you're first playing the tutorial, you spend these gems, which of course you earn. It's very difficult to earn them, or you can easily purchase them. Funny how that works. And they're really obnoxious with it. Like there's this big arrow just like pointing down. It's like here, click here to spend the gems. Here, why wait? Click here. Don't be stingy. Come on, click here. It's really annoying. But we'll see how that goes. It's probably going to go into the uninstall list, just like every other mobile game that I've ever tried. How about you, Mark? What have you been playing?
Okay. Well, I'm trying to check my audio levels. I'm being told I'm quiet again. Oh my goodness. So, anyways, as soon as I see myself talking on the TV, I'm gonna mute here and make sure I'm just as loud as you are. In fact, let me check.
Because to me, you sound pretty loud.
All right. Well, I'm trying to. Hopefully, you're not hearing the TV in the background. But hold on.
We need
Yep.
that technical.
Yep.
Te-
It's quiet.
we need
See,
that
I.
technical difficulty music. Do 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 do.
All right, I think this one I can change on the fly, but I'm just so worried about changing audio settings like we blew everybody out last week. So here
Oh,
we
we
go.
probably did that earlier.
I'm
So,
gonna bump it up just to here,
whoa.
and this school. Let me know if that sounds any better. That should be where I was expecting it. Rob, I think your audio volume is just too high, but
I'll drop mine down a little bit.
we'll go with this, and hopefully it's good. So, anyways, let's move on. And what I did play this week was some Dead Rising 3. I played the DLC that came out. Played some Call of Duty Ghosts, and I played a little something called Battlefield 4.
Whoa. No way.
Now, see, Rob, you shouldn't have messed with your audio. I meant turn your headphone volume down, not your mic settings
I
down.
did. I turned that down and I turned my mic down just a touch.
No, don't touch
Okay.
your mic. Don't touch the mic. I slap you. Okay, we're getting confirmation we're both good at the moment, so
Okay. Fantastic.
don't touch anything. But yeah, I was, I don't know. I mean, I played Battlefield 4. I love Battlefield 2. I mean, I was a huge fan of that game.
Yeah.
And then Battlefield 3, I don't know what it was. It just let me down. I don't know. But it's like I've always wanted. It's the game I want to love. It's like I want to have that desire like I had back in the day.
BF3?
I wanted to like be at Battlefield 3. I even went and
Okay.
and I kept going back to it. I mean, I had bought the game. I bought the premium membership. I kept going back to it, trying, and every once in a while I'd get into it and be like, okay, this is fun, and then just all of a sudden it's like, oh, I hate it. I'm mad at it. But so I never did get it. I tried Battlefield 4. I'd rented it for the 360. I thought it was horrible, and
Why is that? Just
well, it looked horrible. It ran
okay.
horrible. And I hated the campaign. I just thought it was ugly and just wasn't very much fun.
Okay.
Well, I've been itching for something I think different or something to play. And I just remember seeing on the Xbox tour that I went on. I remember seeing the game. We never played it. That was the one game we didn't play that day. but it looked so good. I was just like blown away by how well it looked. So I'm like, I decided I'm not going to get the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition because I don't want to pay $60 for the same game I have sitting on my shelf that I can play in my 360 again if I want. And the only difference is that it's going to look better. It's the exact same game. There's nothing new about it. So I'm like, if I really wanted to play it again, I can just put the Xbox 360 version into. I really care to see the different strands of her hair flowing through the wind? No,
Yeah.
I not for $60. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna bite the bullet, as so to speak, and pick up Battlefield 4 because so many people are playing it. So I got it, dude, and it took forever to download.
How
This was
big
the
is it?
longest game. I think it was about 35 gig,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
and I started at like 4 in the afternoon. I finally was like, yeah, let me just get this. And I started downloading it. 11 o'clock at night, it still wasn't done. But
Could you play it at all?
I could play the single player, and I had started earlier in the night. I was, you know, but I mean, I went to bed at like 11. I was done playing the single player, and for that night, and it was still downloading. I was like, my goodness. So I don't know what was going on. I've got a quick internet connection. So I don't know if it was just Xbox Live was slow for the downloads or what, but this is one of those things I worry about. I was like, we're looking at like 7 hours. It was still downloading. That's crazy. So if we're going to be all digital, Microsoft's going to have to beef up some speed on their other end. Um, Unless for some reason it was my ISP throttling Xbox Live. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, that's a little disconcerting. So, and as
That
big
is a
as
long
these things
time.
are, as big as these games are, we need external drive support pretty darn quick, dude. Um, I don't know how much space I've taken up on there, but I've got all my stuff's digital, so every time I install something, if I'm taking up 50 gig, that's not a lot of games. I think we're going to be about 8 games and you're maxed out. And I think I'm sitting at about 8 games already. Not all of them take that much space, but I'm just like, wow. I don't want to delete Battlefield 4 and to put something else on there and then have to re-download all that again. Even though you can, I don't want to have to do that. So
Oh, yeah.
we need external drive support. But I will say this to the Battlefield community, I am having a really good time with this game. I started off playing, I thought, well, I could play this single player while the multiplayer was downloading. So I started with it and I actually finished the campaign and actually really enjoyed it. And it turns out that on the 360 version when I quit, I was almost done. I only had like one more. I had like I think 2 missions left to do or 2 levels left to do, and the game was done
Oh,
um,
wow.
on the 360. So I was just kind of chuckling, but I did enjoy it, and the game looks amazing on Xbox One. Um,
Huge difference
yes,
from
absolutely.
generations.
Oh yes, yes, you can notice it on that game. And so I got into the multiplayer, and I've been playing with people from our community, and I gotta say I've had there's still some frustration. It's there, but I really did enjoy it, and if I can get away from just who cares if you die, I gotta focus. Like there's times I'm not even like there's this map called Metro. And it's just mayhem, and all I do is I go in as assault class, and I just stand in the back. I just keep throwing out med packs, dude, and I'm getting experience like crazy. um, and it's just insane, you know. So as long as I'm like, I don't have to always go in there and get the kill death ratio up or get, I don't, like on Call of Duty, I'm always like, if I'm like 50-50, I'm happy. If I'm above that, okay. I just want to hold my own. I don't want to go in and be 4 and 20. And even in Call of Duty, I jump out of those servers when that happens, where if I'm just getting destroyed. So, um, with Battlefield, you're gonna die a lot, and that's what I've just discovered. I just got to get the mindset of, oh well, do the medic stat, drop the packs, support. If I can just go in and be a mechanic, or drop the ammo, drop the health packs, do that type of stuff. Try to do different things to support the team, then I'll get points. And I got to look at it that way. And one thing I did today was they brought the commander mode back. and it's a little different from Battlefield 2. I kind of miss the way it was in Battlefield 2 because the commander could run around and shoot, but also jump back and forth between the commander mode and infantry mode or soldier mode, if you would. On Battlefield 4, if you're the commander, you're the commander. That's it. So you're staring at the screen. You're not running around getting kills. The nice thing is you don't die. So I don't have to. I don't have to go. Man, I got killed 800 times. And I did a couple rounds, and it was nice because some of the guys from our community were playing, and I could actually keep their squads selected and like promote them and bring in extra support, drop supplies to them. So it's like another way for me to help out my team, and we did
Right.
really well because the other team didn't have a commander, and I mean we just smoked them 2 games in a row. And I can bring in an AC 130 that I guess the people can somehow get into it as it's flying and shoot down at the enemy and stuff like that. So the commander's the one that calls those in. So it's pretty cool, and you have to like take flags. So you want to direct people to certain bases and direct squads, go attack this, defend this, whatnot. And if you keep your flags up, then you get all these extra bonuses to help take on the enemy. So it was kind of cool, and I kind of enjoyed it. But I can see why a lot of people don't use the commander mode because it does get kind of boring, I think, after a while. It was kind of fun at first. I did 2 games, but by the end of the second game, I'm like, oh well, I'd rather go and get back down into the action. So, but still, it was good. I'm enjoying it, and I did buy the premium edition, so I'm getting all the DLC, and so I'm back, and I gotta give it thumbs up. So, it's a fun game, and I'm glad to be able to say that.
Wow.
So, because
Big reversal. Yeah, yeah.
I've wanted to play. I honestly think my big issue with it is that I think I just maybe got burned out, or it's that mindset of like if you're frustrated, I don't like if you're dealing with stuff in regular life and then you go to play a game, you just want to have fun, and you're getting your butt kicked all the time. That's no fun. That's just more frustration. And I think that maybe that's what was going on, and it's just like I get frustrated with it, and it's more me than the game. So, because there's times I enjoyed Battlefield
It's
3
all
too.
you.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
always me. But there's times I enjoyed Battlefield 3, but there was a lot of things. There's still a lot of things I don't like. There's like I've seen like when you're gonna spawn on somebody, if there's enemies around, a lot of times it'll say warning in the little window when you're highlighting them. Okay, I don't jump in there, but there's times where there's no enemies highlighted on the map, there's no warning, you jump in, bam, you're dead. It's like, oh my gosh. You
Yeah,
know,
that's not fun.
I still don't know why Battlefield can't give you a 3 to 5 second timer. Even if your gun doesn't work, make it where you can't shoot, but no one can kill you for 3 to 5 seconds, so you can get in and get your bearings. And if someone's right in front of you, at least you got a chance to move. And most of the time they're probably still going to get you, but give the guy spawning in a shot. And I don't like spawning in the very back all the time because then you run 5 miles to get to battle,
And
and
then
as
you
soon as
die
you get
there.
there, bam, you're dead. It's like, come on. So that type of stuff still
Yeah, and
frustrates me.
repeat.
But I'm resigned as just saying let it go, and just focus on other things and whatever. So, but anyways, I've rambled on enough. But that's all I've been playing this week. So,
Awesome. You have a newfound love, my friend.
so that's it.
All right. Okay, let's get on with the topics then for this week. First thing that we're going to start off with, this made quite a bit of headlines this past week, where Microsoft was kind of called out for paying people to say positive things about the Xbox One,
No.
Microsoft, etc. And this was on YouTube. And one thing that really, really angers me about this whole thing is we did not get a penny of that.
Freaking jerks.
I know.
Microsoft sucks. Go Sony. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, go
Wow, what a reversal. First go Battlefield, now Sony.
go Dreamcast, go Dreamcast. But once the dust kind of settled and the initial reactions kind of subsided, the truth kind of came out where Microsoft paid Machinima to do some marketing for them. I guess they got paid $1 million or something like that to do marketing for Microsoft, Xbox, et cetera, et cetera. And this was a machinima promotion, so it was not actually direct from Microsoft. Microsoft basically says that this partnership between Machinima and Microsoft was a typical marketing partnership to promote Xbox One in December. The Xbox team does not review any specific content or provide feedback on content. Any confidentiality provisions, terms, and other guidelines or standard documents, blah, 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 blah. So they're basically saying that it wasn't them directly. This is something that happens normally. I'm sure it happens with all these different companies. And next time this happens, think of this Xbox Live. Okay, please. Yeah. Although, you know what? We usually say positive things about them anyway. So maybe we just got to start ripping on them a little bit to get some.
Isn't the
Get some.
I mean the name of the show should be positive. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
but we're not always positive.
No.
And I mean, I think it's kind of stupid. People are making a big deal about this. So, it's marketing, it's advertising. Everybody does it, and you're going to hear about a very similar story to this here in a few minutes. Another company doing the same thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing new. Where I don't like it is where they try to pay out. What was that, GameSpot? A few years ago, where the guys, from Giant Bomb, they left GameSpot because
Yeah. Oh
they were
yeah. Remember
saying
that?
that the GameSpot was taking money for positive reviews of a game. Now that's different.
That's
I
like
think that's
payola, isn't it?
be- yeah,
Or
that's
whatever they
yeah,
call it.
that's just like, oh yeah, your game's a 10 when it's not, just because the company paid you. That I think is different because they're viewed as, that is supposed to be an actual review. Um, this is this is different. This is marketing. This is, I mean, if Microsoft came to us and said, "Hey, if you say something positive about Xbox One, you're going to get a couple of bucks." Well, of course, we're going to have positive things to say. I mean, there's going to be negative things that we don't like too, but most
Sure.
everything is a positive. But the difference is I guess, and people are getting upset, is that they don't realize that it's a paid sponsorship. But I mean, what do you think everything on TV is? You know, um, like when you get these celebrities, it always says compensated endorsement on the bottom of the screen. That means they were paid to say those nice things about that product.
Yeah, and they were
It
paid lots of money.
exactly. So
Lots of money. It's ridiculous.
this is not a big deal. It's
Nah.
stupid. It shouldn't even be in the news. It's just something for the haters to try to heap more hate on Microsoft, and I just don't get it.
I
Um,
I really agree with that because this is just another thing in a long string of things over the past couple months where Microsoft can seem to do no right with anything. They release a new console, there's big issues with it. They do X, there's issues with it. How they market their stuff, there's issues with it. It just, the media, like you said, is really going after Microsoft. I'm not saying that Microsoft does everything perfectly, but
no, they don't.
yeah, it's
Oh, I mean, yes, they do. Come on, Rob. They
cha-ching,
do nothing wrong. Cha-ching!
cha-ching.
They are perfect.
Yeah. Hey, look, Mark, we got free Skype minutes. Hey, wait a
Yeah.
second.
Wow. Gee, thanks.
I can sit in my Xbox One dashboard all day for free.
Hey, I will say one positive thing that I do like about the Xbox One dashboard is the lack of ads. Someone was saying in our community group that they
Yeah.
missed the old dashboard. I like the new one. It's like 3 pages. You got one to the right, one to the left. That's it. It's
Yeah.
really easy to find stuff, and you're not it's got all that advertising all over the screen. I like what they've done. So, anyways, but that's off topic. It's just something I thought of. But let's not blow this out of proportion, people. It's advertising. Duh. Advertisers get paid to say
It
positive
happens.
things about a product.
Yeah. Those people on the commercials that you see on TV, they got paid.
Exactly. All right. So this next story. Oh, do you have anything else on that, Rob?
Nah.
Okay. This next story I thought was kind of interesting. Microsoft built 75 Xbox One prototypes before
Hmm.
it settled on its finished design. And I'm like, What I find interesting is like 75 different prototypes, and this is what we got. It's a square box that has half matte, half glossy finish to it. It doesn't look like they put a lot of effort into it. I mean, I know there's more to it on the, than just the outside aesthetics, but
To give
anyways,
you kind of give you kind of a similar type of thing, I work with Cisco equipment, and one of the products that used to get installed on a Windows server back in the day, it had a screen, not a screensaver, a background wallpaper image, whatever you want to call it. It took Cisco's product team for that product 4 months, I was told, to just choose which wallpaper to use.
yep, it
So,
is a lot goes into it, man.
oh yeah, there's so much discussion about these things, so I can just imagine what it's like to make something like a console. It just must be silly. But
But
sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
no, that's okay. But Microsoft's designer Carl Ledbetter revealed that the game console went through many 3D printed incarnations before the company settled on a final product. There were 75 system prototypes. There was 100 for the Kinect. That one? I think they made more prototypes at Kinect than they did the actual system. I think that's odd. And 200 for the gamepad.
Wow.
The development team spent a long time to find balance between familiar Xbox design cues and the desire for an always-on media hub. Whether or not you think Microsoft achieved its goal, it's clear that Xbox One's current look was never guaranteed. So it's like, wow, I just think that's interesting that how much went into just the design of the stuff. I mean, that's crazy. Or
Oh yeah.
375 different prototypes total for
Just
those
imagine
items.
the just imagine the design teams just having to churn these things out. It's like just sitting there brainstorming. Hey Fred, you got a new one? Yeah, here's a new one. It looks like a donut. This one looks like a pen. Whatever, but yeah, interesting. Then Killer Instinct is going to have a new character coming out, I believe, this month. Um, yeah, later this month. Spinal is the name of the character, and yeah, that's it.
That is all.
That is all. I mean, not much to say about it.
All
Killer
right.
Instinct, get a new character.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Well, they rotate them out. So, all
Yeah.
right. So we talked about the Microsoft scandal, if you will. Well, EA is
Oh,
in the same scandal. They are reportedly paying YouTube channels for coverage. Electronic Arts has issued a statement saying regarding its policy of paying YouTube channel owners for coverage. So, through EA's Ronku program, some fans are compensated for the YouTube videos they create and share about our games. The program requires that participants comply with FTC guidelines and identify when content is sponsored. User generated videos are a valuable and unique aspect of how gamers share their experiences playing the games they love and one that EA supports. So, but again, it's coming, you know, um, it's the same thing. Everybody's kind of up in arms that EA would pay YouTubers to give positive reviews of their games. Duh. It's advertising. I mean, the way of the future is digital. The way of the future is the internet. A lot of people go to YouTube and IGN and stuff to get their video game news and stuff like this. We look at game trailers and game spots and giant bombs and we turn to these people. You guys are listening to us. Just we're not even professionals. You just I don't know why you listen to us, but to hear some regular schmoes giving their opinion and thoughts on the games and the console,
it's
and
fun.
it's and we don't get paid. Now some people get paid, and again, but those are the guys that are probably bringing in 1 million views a day. Well, EA's gonna want to advertise to that group. That's all it is advertising. So again, this is not a big deal. I don't see why. Again, but EA is a company everybody likes to beat up on, so they're a target just like Microsoft right now. So you know, again, it's not a big deal, people. And if you're Sony fanboys or are out there, or anybody that's, maybe your Call of Duties or fanboys or, oh, you Battlefield people, your company sucks. Whatever, just ignore them. It's childish and stupid, and everybody pays to get the good word out about their product. That's called advertising. So it's the way of the world. Not even give it any more coverage.
Yeah.
So, all right,
All
Rob.
right. If you're looking for some more games on your Xbox One, you might want to check out Xboxy. This is something, Mark, I think you posted it in the Facebook group a couple days ago when you first found this thing. And it's pretty interesting. What it is the Xbox One, of course, has Internet Explorer on it, and that supports HTML5, which then lets you do HTML5 games that are out there for web browsers on the web and all that good stuff. So Xboxy is run by a person named Citadel Saint, where the site kind of puts together the ones that you can play together or that you can play on the Xbox One. Some of the titles that the site supports are Bejeweled, right? That's one of your
Yeah.
favorite games there. Cut the Rope, Pac-Man, Freerider HD, which I think is kind of like a Trials game, isn't it? Or it's just a
I
bike game?
I
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I didn't try it.
Yeah, 1945, Super Breakout, Contre Jour, I think is the name of this one. I remember this thing being out on Android a while back. It's a really funky looking, weird game. Missile Command, Flow Colors, Solitaire, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're kind of looking for something new to play on your Xbox One while you're waiting for the next wave of titles to hit, I guess before Tomb Raider, which comes out this week, wasn't actually Tomb Raider. That's really like the first game since Peggle, isn't it? Or Max?
No, Halo. Peggle,
Oh
then
yeah,
Max,
yeah,
then Halo came out. So
yeah. That's right. Spartan Assault. So if you're looking for something to kill some time, then check it out. Xboxy.com.
yeah, it's Xbox IE.
I
Xbox
say it
IE.
Xboxy.
I call
Xboxy.
it Xboxy as well, but it's just
Yeah.
easy to remember. It's xboxie.com.
Yep.
Also, keep in mind that Rob, you left the biggest game off the list. Pong is now on
Oh yeah.
Xbox One, baby.
Whoop-de-doo.
It's Pong.
Yeah.
So, how dare you diss
No,
Pong?
it's table tennis. That's what it is.
Alrighty. Moving on, moving on.
Oh, then I
Hap-
can also bring in Lunar Lander.
yes, I actually want to play that one. I like Lunar Lander. But anyways, Happy
Yeah.
Wars. If you guys remember, for all you gold subscribers, you were able to play this free-to-play game called Happy Wars. Well, Microsoft has removed the gold restriction. Um, and Happy Wars is now, even if you're a silver gamer, if you have a silver subscription, which is a free, you can play Happy Wars free. And that's part of the 11th update for the game. So this allows 360 owners to play it regardless of their Xbox Live subscription level. As the platform's first free-to-play game, it was previously locked to those with gold level subscription instead. Unpaid Xbox Live users can play every facet of the game, save for multiplayer missions in the treasure map sections, which remain locked to gold subscribers. The update also adds a new game mode called Bounty Hunters, in which players earn bounties by defeating enemies. Big towers and conjuring other towers, adding to their team's total. The mode is available until January 29th, which is just a couple more days. The title update also fixes um, issues that prevented progress in the cancel defense mode, adjusted the item leveling system, and changed the game's training mode into skirmish mode. So, and this game has exceeded 6 million downloads in a year.
Wow.
So I guess there is something for free to play.
Yeah.
So, but it's so if you've
Or
got
free to
silver,
try.
yeah, if you got a silver membership, you can now play it. So
That's happy.
happy, it's a happy war.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Immersion is a prototype headset that was designed by a gentleman out in Seattle, Sam Matson. What's interesting about this headset is that it has a it's like a built-in heart monitor of sorts that can track your pulse, basically kind of picking out when you're really getting into the game as you're playing a game. And then the game can ramp up the difficulty, which doesn't make sense to me. So, okay, Mark, check this out. So you're playing a game and you're really getting into it. Your heart's racing now, which probably means that things are getting kind of heated in the game. For example, like
Mm-hmm.
let's say you're playing BF4 and you're in a firefight. All right. Do you really want it to get more difficult at that point? You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I would
I,
think they would make it a little easier for
I
you.
know that's like punishment. That's like backwards to me. But hey, maybe it makes sense to some. Well, obviously it makes sense to somebody. So this immersion headset, which by the way is for the 360 as of right now, it's a prototype. We don't know if it'll ever make it to the market, but you can check out uh, the prototype on the interwebs at sammatson.net/immersion. It looks kind of funky. It looks really, really funky. And yeah, I would probably say this thing isn't going to make it. It's a cool
I
idea, but
don't see the
yeah,
point,
yeah.
but
Es- Especially when you've got something like the 360, which can use the Kinect to do the same thing, and you don't need a headset,
right,
right? Because it
right.
can, I think the Kinect senses your heart rate through skin color changes. I believe that's what I read.
I don't
But
know.
yeah. All right, moving on.
All right,
Back to you, my friend.
all right. Moving on. If you guys are jonesing for a new golf game and you want to get away from the Tiger Woods, well, HP Studios has announced a new golf game, and this will be a direct competitor to EA's PGA Tour series, recently called Tiger Woods. The Golf Club is the name of the title. And as interesting as the game looks, um, the title does seem a bit odd, the Golf Club. But this game's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It will feature procedurally generated courses that can be shared with other players through the game's social media hub. Editing tools will allow users to fine tune courses, and HB Studios says loading and wait times between holes will be next to zero, thanks to the nature of the game's procedural generation. Users can even create and share custom tournaments and tours. This game is built on the Unity engine and plans to launch out this spring. So, if you're looking for a new golf game, there should be available this spring, and it actually does look pretty good. Pretty amazing
Fantastic.
graphics. So, if you want to see more, see some videos, look for the Golf Club. So,
Very cool. A couple weeks ago, you might have, or you might remember that we talked about the new documentary that Microsoft is creating, where they're going to be excavating the
ET.
supposed location of Atari's
Yeah.
burial of the ET cartridges.
Hmm.
Well, that portion of Microsoft, Xbox Entertainment Studios, they just hired a programming director from AMC, which I believe is
Oh.
what, American Movie Channel.
I
Anyway,
think so.
yeah, at least that's what it used to be. Now it's the latest trend is the name no longer stands for anything. It's just the letters. So maybe it just is AMC now. But anyway, the gentleman's name is Ari Mark. So he joined up with Xbox Entertainment Studios in Santa Monica. His claim to fame so far has been that he's worked on a bunch of series, TV shows, including The Pitch, Small Town Security, okay, and the Walking Dead talk show called The Talking Dead, which I believe is the show right after The Walking Dead.
It is Dead
I'm not
Live.
I'm not 100% sure on that because I don't actually watch the show live. You
Talking
sort of
Dead.
miss these things on DVR.
Talking Dead is, yes, it is a talk show that
Yeah,
follows the show
yeah,
immediately. They did the same thing for Breaking Bad.
all
It was
right.
called Talking Bad, I think. They did it for just an episode or two.
Okay.
So,
And they did it for all those Housewives shows.
oh, did that? I
Or,
don't know.
oh, come on, you
But
know. I know
AMC
you know.
stands for American Movie Classics.
Classics. Okay. Sounds good. And then he also worked on Comic Book Men, which I did catch a couple episodes. I lost interest in that one pretty quick. I was really disappointed by it. I had such high hopes for it. Did you ever check that one out?
I've seen it once or twice. It's a little
Yeah.
odd, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one where Kevin Smith, the guy who did the Clerks and all
yes,
those shows, he's got some comic book shops, and it's kind of like what happens with his staff.
right. But they just
Seems
like
very
sit around and
scripted.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, all these things are scripted, so
yeah.
there is no reality TV anymore. It's reality, scripted reality.
There you go.
So,
So that's that. We'll see what happens with their content. It's cool that they're doing it. I just hope it delivers.
I do too. All right, so Microsoft has shipped 3.9 million Xbox One consoles and 3.5 million Xbox 360 consoles during the second quarter of 2014. And if that sounds odd, that's because it's their fiscal 2014, so not the real one.
Where's
But
that
their
start?
second
Like,
their second quarter ended December 31st.
okay,
So
so it
they're
starts in June,
correct.
the year.
So the companies, yeah, so I mean, 3.9 million Xbox Ones, 3.5 million Xbox 360s in that last quarter of the year. Earlier this month, Microsoft announced it had shipped more than 3 million Xbox units by the end of 2013. So I guess overall their final number was 3.9. They reported a 24.52 billion in revenue and almost 8 billion in operating income for the quarter. The devices and consumer portion of Microsoft's businesses, which houses all things Xbox, grew by 13% year over year to almost $12 billion. And they quote, our commercial segment continues to outpace the overall market, and our devices and consumer segment had a great holiday quarter, said Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer. So it looks good. Things are, I mean, they're making money. That's good. That's what we want. It's for them to continue supporting this thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
cool, cool.
All right. If you're looking for some more games to play, you can look forward to February 21st, where, oh, what's the name of this company? Sandlot. Sandlot's got Earth Defense Force 2025 hitting the Xbox 360 uh, on February 21st. Yeah, that's
Okay.
is there a US date? Because it looks like Europe
I
might be
don't.
February 21st. Anyway, I'm sure it's probably somewhere around the same time. Anyway, this is a follow-up for the 2007 release of Earth Defense Force 2017, where there's going to be even more giant-sized insectoid types for players to exterminate in local and online cooperative multiplayer matches. And then they're going to have downloadable mission packs released following the release, which means DLC. That's just, I guess, another way to say DLC. Adding up to a total of 45 additional levels on top of the game's lengthy campaign. Oh, North America release is February 18th.
There you
So
go.
18th in the US and then 21st in Europe.
There
Look
you
for that
go.
soon.
Yep.
Back to you.
All right. So more Titanfall news, and this is good news. Titanfall is not going to have microtransactions.
Phew.
That is awesome news. But the developer is still undecided about a DLC season pass. I would say that they probably will do a DLC season pass. I think that's crazy. Why, if they're not doing a season pass, I mean, I guess, well, they may just say, no, we're just not going to do season pass, and you'll just pay for the stuff because everybody's going to pay for it whether there's a season pass or not. But I think the season pass is kind of a good way to go because in the past they've shown that usually, the first couple map packs people really buy, they sell a lot. Then when they get to the third and the fourth ones, they really taper off. So if they can sell you 3 of those and give you the last one free, they actually end up making more money. So I guess they've statistically shown that it's best just to give like that last one away. So they end up making more money. But I like it. I think it's a good deal if it's a good game. It allows me to buy it, pay for it all up front, and then you just it's like, hey, there's a free add-on. It almost feels like it's free later on, and you get to come back and play that game later and get new content, and you don't have to dish out money later on. So
Right.
I like the idea of the season pass. So, but we don't have any word on that yet. But good news, there will be no microtransactions. So, and this game is coming March 11th. It's not too much further away. We're about what
I know, right?
6 weeks
Yeah.
away.
Sounds about right.
About 6 weeks. So, can't wait.
It's one of those other things that are just going to be upon us immediately. It's we keep talking about these things and they seem so far away, and then it was last week.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
yeah,
we'll
my
be playing it
Xbox
pretty
is like
soon.
what 2 months old now. It's so old.
Yeah,
So,
all used up.
I'll
All
use.
right.
Yep.
One thing we've been talking about a couple of times over the past couple of months is about the cost of digital games because we've kind of made some decisions, at least you and I, Mark, and I know some of our listeners have, in regards to do you want to go all digital with the next generation? And there is an appeal, at least for me, because I hate dealing with media. Just I lose my discs. Well, either somewhere in the house, but I just don't know where. They get scratched because I never put them back in the cases properly, or worse yet, they wind up on spindles somewhere in the middle with all my PC discs and so forth. And one thing that kind of stinks about going all digital, at least for the moment, is that digital games are always full price. You can find, or you used to be able to find a couple weeks ago, there's a bunch of titles available, I believe, on Amazon and Best Buy, where you can buy the retail release discs for Xbox One for $40, which is what a 30% discount, 33% discount
Mhm.
if I have my math right, because
Sure.
the normal titles are $60, 59.99. And so if you're going all digital, you kind of get punished in some respects, at least your wallet gets punished. And there was some discussion about this on looks like on Reddit over the past week, where they were basically talking about how Microsoft kind of bumped up the pricing on some of their digital releases and so forth. And Major Nelson kind of jumped into the discussion and he goes, we're aware of this and many of the concerns of the community. And then he went on to reassure the commenters that competitive pricing is on the agenda. So I really hope that this thing comes through because I know how, if you look at it from a income money standpoint, when Microsoft sells a game themselves digitally, the, they basically make more money on the game. So at a $60 title, all of that goes to Microsoft and the publisher and so forth. Whereas when you have a $60 title at retail, there's a whole bunch of people that get a cut of that in addition. So you've got the retailer, you've got distribution, and who knows what else that gets a cut of this. So Microsoft, the publisher, and so forth, they get a smaller cut. So I really think that it works out better for them to do a digital release, but it would also be nice to be able to pass on some of the savings to us instead of just basically going, hey, look at all the money we're making. You know, kind of like sitting in a bathtub full of money going,
Yeah.
you know. So looks
Like
like
Bobby
this,
Kotick.
yeah. So it looks like this is something that they're at least aware of and they have acknowledged it, at least Major Nelson did. So I hope that they go through and they offer some kind of discount. Because I was really, really tempted by those $40 titles. I think one of them was Assassin's Creed, and I forgot what the other ones were. I was really tempted by it just because, hey, that's $20 savings for a title. It's like I can deal with a disc for a while. I have up until now. So hopefully they do something about this, and hopefully it works out in our best interest.
Well,
Back to you,
just
my friend.
in case
What?
anyone's wondering, Power Star Golf actually is on sale right now, but that ends Monday tomorrow, the 27th. So tonight might be the last night. So if you were listening today, then you might, and you want to get that. It's like $5 off. So I think it's like 15 bucks
Yeah.
on Xbox One. So if you're looking for something, a sale, it's the only one available at the moment, discounted. But at least it's there. So
Yes.
all right. So we talked last week about a game coming out called Evolve, and there's going to be this is going to be a four-player game. Basically, it's four against one. So someone's going to play some big giant creature, and then you're going to have the four other players are going to be basically humans trying to take this thing on. So the question, I guess, came up about why Left 4 Dead devs are sticking with the number four for players with this game. And basically, just the story goes that when Valve first got their hands on Turtle Rock's Counter Strike mod, Left 4 Dead, which was interesting, I never realized that was a Counter Strike mod. It tried upping the number of players from 4 to 5 or 6, even after Turtle Rock said it wouldn't turn out well. Valve tried it and it didn't work out, and Left 4 Dead shipped with 4 playable characters. So Evolve, Turtle Rock's next-gen monster shooter, sticks with 4 hunters fighting against 1 monster. Turtle Rock isn't sure why 4 players works out best, but creative director Chris Ashton shared his theory recently with the Game Informer. He said, "What happens is there's a weird thing in that most people, I think, are able to track 3 friends. I can know that you're over here and you're in front of me and you're to my left. And I can keep that in my mind, and I can keep in my mind that you have 50% health and you have 80% health, and I can keep track of that and fight another team. But if it's 4 guys, I feel like I'm always losing one. I always don't know where someone is. I don't know where someone's health is. Keeping track of 4 other friends is too much. So those who play as the superpowered monster will have their hands full keeping tabs on all 4 enemies," Ashton said. "That's what makes it a challenge for him," he said. "As soon as you kill one guy and get one guy out of the picture, I think 3 humans are way easier to deal with and keep mental tabs on." I, what do you think of that, Rob? Do you really buy into that?
No.
I I know it seems kind of odd to me. I mean, yes, I think it is easier to keep track if you just got a couple buddies. I do believe that, especially for me, it's easier to keep track of what's going on. And but I don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the game would still kind of play the same, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It
you
seems
think?
seems kind of weird.
Yes.
So, but anyways, that's his theory of why 4 players works. So,
Sure. Okay. All right.
all
So
right,
more Killer Instinct news. The next Killer Instinct free-to-play fighter is Thunder. Not
Thunder.
Thundar, Thunder. I guess not a barbarian. So Thunder or Chieftain Thunder is going to be replacing the Vicious Fury Saberwolf.
Yeah, no, this is
Okay.
like if you're just doing the free to play, I think you only can play with like one character at a time, I
Yeah, it's like
think.
one or two,
And they
something like that. Yeah.
rotate that character out every so often. So,
Like now.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So Thunder wields devastating tomahawks in the reimagining of the arcade and uh, Super NES game, which features a handful of characters from the original game in the series since launching alongside Microsoft's Xbox One in November. The free to play character slot has rotated 3 combatants into the fray, first offering players a taste of the action with Jago, I believe. Jago. I mean, that's the one I remember from Killer Instinct.
Yep.
So, yeah, Thunder is the new one. And
All right.
then what we'll have Fulgore. That's another one coming in March.
Okay. Yeah, they're adding because there was I think a roster of 8. They're going to add
Yeah.
to that eventually. I don't know how many total we're going to have, but I think we're going to get 16 total, I think, fighters for that game.
Yeah.
So, but all right. All right, so moving on to our last story. This one is another. Oh boy, more hoopla, more hate at Microsoft, more
Mm,
Xboxes sucks. Um, Tomb Raider, the definitive edition, has gone gold, and some people already have it. Some stores are selling it early, even here in the states,
yeah, I was really
um,
surprised by that.
and others are being told they have to wait till the release date.
Yeah.
So, but Tomb Raider Definitive Edition has come out, and oh boy, is it causing the fanboy rage and hate going back and forth. The flame guns or the flamethrowers are in full effect with this one. The PlayStation 4 version of the game has been confirmed to run at 60 frames per second. And the Xbox One's version frame rate is more on the 30 frames, up to 45 at times. So, of course, everybody's like, oh, Xbox sucks, PlayStation's better, blah, blah, blah. Now, the only reason I'm going to bring this story up is because I personally don't care about 1080p or 720p. I personally don't care about 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second. I couldn't tell you what my game is, what it's playing at. All I know is
Right.
they look great. There's games that were on that 360 that look amazing and they're fun
Yeah,
to
yeah.
play. I mean, I want to play a game, you know, this is a better version than what was on the 360. And the 360 game was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous and it played great and I loved it. So, what I don't like about the story is again, it's more negative press towards the Xbox One, which I think is not it's not relevant. I don't think it's that big of an issue, and I think it's just being blown out of proportion, and people are latching onto it to heap more hate when it's like you know if there's a major failure or something like the three red lights of death or whatever, the red ring of death, that was something that was legit. Okay, that's why you hate a company. I think the PS4 shipping with all these hardware issues or people can't even use them on day one, I think that's an issue. You know,
Yeah.
running a difference of frame rates between two different pieces of hardware, that to me is not a big issue. If the game runs great and looks great on the Xbox One, who cares? But some people do. So, anyways, I want to read this um, just so you guys all get to hear what's going on. But again, the only reason I don't like this is because it's irrelevant negative press towards Xbox again. But Square Enix rep has weighed in on the issue, stating that delivering the core Tomb Raider gameplay at native 1080p and running at 30 frames a second was always our primary goal, given the type of experience Tomb Raider is and the exploration we want players to do. Anything beyond 30 frames per second for this version is gravy. Microsoft Senior Director of Product Management Albert Pinello has said the difference between the two versions were minor and defended the Xbox One version by reminding listeners that we've only just begun the new generation of consoles. Everybody wants to focus on, there's a frame rate thing going on with Tomb Raider, there's a resolution thing going on, and okay, there's a lot of reasons why that could be true, but we're weeks in. We just shipped, it's a long generation. Quote, I believe the difference in the PS4 and the Xbox One is not that great, and I know what's going on behind the scenes, and I probably have access to more information about some of this than a lot of people. Sometimes I think people tend to neglect the points that are in my favor, and they like to highlight the points that tell me that I'm wrong, Pinello said. I think these little things get way overblown versus the like of quality of the games and the real differences in the two experiences, which are pretty minor. So that was Albert Pinello's response, and I mean, I honestly agree with him. You know, I've also read other stories that the developers said that they had their PlayStation dev kits a lot earlier than they did on Xbox, so they don't have as much experience with those with that platform yet. And again, are you gonna really notice the difference? People did that with Call of Duty, like, oh, look at the difference, and I'm like, I don't really see a big difference here. it's so minor that you're not gonna know it, especially in a fast-paced game. None of these things are noticeable. I mean,
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I don't get it. Um, but anyway, so uh, there was another story that I saw, and I'm sure it's stemming from this. But Microsoft has, I guess, they're going to look at reducing the amount of GPU that is reserved for the OS. I guess it's 10% that they
Yeah.
reserve for the Kinect and for the OS and stuff. They're talking, I guess, reducing that down to 2% and freeing up an additional 8% to go towards the gaming side of the house, if you will. Um, so I don't I don't know if that's in. I'm gonna say it's probably in a direct response to all this type of negative press they're getting. They're gonna just make some tweaks and shift some resources over to the other side, so devs can do more with it. Um, but I
I
just
think it's really to stave off some of this negative press because it shows that they're making changes and they're being responsive. I don't know if it's for the right reasons.
yeah, I don't know. It all seems just stupid. Again, it's like it's been a weird week, man. All this stuff that's making big news in video games, it's there's nothing there. It's like they're trying to make something out of nothing. That's what all this stuff is. So we just need more games. I think we need
Yeah,
more games so people can focus on playing and stop trying to create things to talk about.
that's
So,
right.
so. But anyways, that's it for me. Did you have any other last minute things to discuss,
No,
Rob?
sir. No, sir.
All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump into our community section. You can join our community. We use Facebook. So if you want, you can look for This Xbox Life, all one word on Facebook. You can email us anytime if you want, contact at thisxboxlife.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. With that, we always post when new shows are available. When we start broadcasting on Twitch, it's tweeted out, and also when the replay is available on YouTube, that's also tweeted out. So you'll always know when the shows are released. And with that being said, we have a contest, if you will. And Rob, please remember, you need to get that contest page up for us,
It's
buddy.
up.
Okay.
It's up and
Um,
live right now.
in this contest is a direct result of you guys supporting us by going to thisxboxlife.com/Amazon and doing all your shopping. You can go to that link, bookmark that link. That way, anytime you go to the Amazon page, use that link, and you will always be using our affiliate page. Same great low prices, um, and it just supports our show. And because of that, I'm now going to put up an image of an Xbox game. All you need to do is go to our website, thisxboxlife.com. Is it /contest, Rob?
I believe that is it. Yeah. Just go
Okay.
to thisxboxlife.com and then up at the top of the menu, the second object is contest. Just click on that.
All
It's
right.
less typing.
There you go. And all you got to do is put their gamer tag in and the name of the game. So that's it, as you see on the screen. If you're hearing us on audio, you got till next Saturday evening to watch the YouTube replay of this episode, and you can even fast forward if you wish to this section to see what the name of the game is. Okay, full title, please. Give me the full title. Alrighty. And then the winner of that will be randomly chosen next Sunday. We'll announce it in the next episode who the winner is of the $10 gift card from Microsoft. And then next week we will have another game image that we will show, and will be the same thing for the next 8 weeks. We'll just keep handing these things out. So again, thank you guys for supporting us through Amazon. We really appreciate it.
That's right.
All right. So we got some games this week, Rob.
Finally.
Woo! Let's
We've
start.
kind of been skipping over this entire section the last few weeks. So with the 360, we've got a whole two titles that are coming out. First of all, there's Tomb Raider Game of the Year Edition. Fantastic, fantastic game. If you don't have an Xbox One and you haven't played Tomb Raider, definitely get this game. It's fantastic. And then also we've got Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z.
Yeah.
For Xbox One, of course, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, which we've talked about seemingly incessantly for the last couple of weeks. It's finally going to be out on Tuesday, I believe.
Correct.
And for those lucky people, especially those in our group that have been playing it for the past couple of days now, they are very lucky to have gotten it earlier. So that's it, really. Just two Tomb Raiders and Dragon Ball Z. Two for the 360, one for the Xbox One. I can't wait
And
to start going back to the old lists. Remember that when we'd have like 10 titles a week
yeah. Well, where can people buy these games, Rob?
on Amazon?
Of course.
Just remember, we just mentioned it. Thisxboxlife.com/Amazon is the link. Just make your Amazon purchases through there, and then we'll have fun contests like we're having right now.
All right.
So, yeah, support the show, support yourself.
Alrighty. That's it for me. You got anything else, Rob?
No, that's it, my friend.
All right. Then, if you listen to us on iTunes, please rate us 5 stars. And again, thank you for all your support. I am Mark, aka Wingman 709. I am taking off.
And I'm Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you all next week, and good luck to everybody for the contest.